Those are the worst countries with excess mortality over 15%. Estonia, 16.2%. Spain, 16.7%. Portugal, excess mortality of 23.9%. More dead bodies than usual. Tell you what, just for fun, boys and girls, let's also take a look at vaccines in Europe. This is the rundown of countries. So look at that. The least vaccinated country in Europe is Bulgaria, and they also have the least excess mortality. And the most vaccinated country in Europe is Malta, which isn't included in the excess mortality stats. So let's go to the second most vaccinated country in Europe, Portugal. And they have the highest excess mortality in Europe. So the lowest country with the lowest vaccination has the lowest excess mortality, and the country with the highest rate has the highest.
That must be a weird coincidence because we all know this experimental drug is so safe and so effective. How come it could cause the excess mortality like that? It is impossible. However, what if I tell you you can actually observe the same result from the phase 3? And in this trial, when you compare the mortality in the control group and compare to the placebo group, the mortality in the control group is higher than the placebo group. So let me share you the evidence from the FDA official document from the FDA official website. And here is the link. You can see this is indeed from the FDA official website, fda.gov. And here, this document called Summary Basis for the Regulatory Action. It is from Ramachandra Naik, PhD Review Committee Chair. And who is the applicant in this document? It's BioNTech Manufacturing in partnership with Pfizer Inc. And here is the property name. You can see here. Proprietary name here. And here is the recommended action. The review committee recommend approval of this product. So this document is submitted by the Pfizer to the FDA for review their product. So YouTube reviewer take a very close look on this document. I'm just saying whatever on this FDA official document. I'm not sharing any misinformation unless you believe FDA is spreading the misinformation. So if you go to page 23, I'll read this for you word by word. From dose 1 through the March 13, 2021 data cutoff date, they were a total of 38, 21 in the community group and 17 in the placebo group. So there you go. If you do the math, the mortality is 25% higher in the control group compared to the placebo group. So there must be something wrong with both the real world data and the data, because this experimental drug is so safe and so effective, right? And more constantly, a football player called Matt Letizia from England, he also observed a lot of professional football players drop like flies during the games after the year of the 2021. Let's hear from him.
There is censorship, without any shadow of a doubt. I was listening to TalkSport one morning, the day after another footballer had collapsed on the pitch clutching his heart. And during the Jim White show, Trevor Sinclair and Simon Jordan both expressed an opinion that they thought there needed to be some kind of investigation because these players are collapsing on the fields of play and nobody seems too bothered about it. I was a professional footballer for 17 years. Hand on my heart, I never saw one player in my entire career in 17 years. That's not just matches. I'm talking about training 5 days a week for 17 years. Not one player did I see with a heart problem. Not one. Now, all these players start collapsing on the pitch. Trevor Sinclair happens to bring up the subject and questions why nobody is being interested in investigating this.
He was conscious when he was taken to the Royal Berkshire Hospital and was communicative with the club medical personnel as well as his family.
Good.
That's about the best news, I think, Simon, we can expect.
Absolutely.
At this time.
I think everyone wants to know if he's had the COVID vaccine.
Halfway through his sentence, his microphone got cut off. Live on air, microphone cut. He was not allowed to speak about that subject anymore. Now that is irrefutable evidence that there is censorship. And that censorship would have come from Ofcom. And if you don't think that the government has told them to do that, then I'm sorry, you're living on a different planet. The media have been so complicit in all of this. I've sat in a meeting this afternoon at Parliament at Portcullis House where Dr. Asim Malhotra gave a presentation, and in amongst the crowd were a lot of injured. And these people are crying out for some help and just to be noticed. And our media have completely turned their back on them. I spoke, Lisa Shaw, who worked for the BBC, one of their own. She died last May, and it is now October 2022. She died May 2021. I spoke to her husband today. Despite the fact that the manufacturer is on her death certificate, despite that fact, they still won't pay him out from the compensation scheme. Absolutely disgusting. This is, and it appears that the tactics from these people are that we will stretch it out as far as we can and hope people get fed up and don't keep badgering us for your £120,000. I'm sorry, that's not good enough in this day and age. And quite frankly, the media in this country have got a lot to answer for. I think they could have, if we had a independent media, this crisis would have been over about 2.5 years ago. So I appreciate your points over the other side of the room, but I'm telling you, there is censorship and it's going on and it's disgusting and it's at a level that is going to be dangerous for this country, especially with the bills that they've got trying to come through with the online harm safety bill, all that kind of stuff. It is dangerous and it is taking you down a road. I'm not saying that this government is tyrannical. They might be. But what I'm saying is all these bills that they're going to try and put through, they put in place the mechanisms for a tyrannical government to come in and take advantage of those laws. So we should never, ever bring those laws in. Thank you.
So there are so many coincidences. However, in the mainstream media, they will never connect the excess mortality to this experimental drug, the safe and effective. If you still have doubt, take a look at this video.
This weather report brought to you by Pfizer.
Today's countdown to the royal wedding is brought to you by Pfizer.
And now a CBS Sports Update brought to you by Pfizer.
Meet the Press Data Download brought to you by Pfizer.
This portion of CBS This Morning sponsored by Pfizer.
On how to find the hidden sugars in the American family diet. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Making a difference. Brought to you by Pfizer. CNN Tonight. Brought to you by Pfizer. Early Start. Brought to you by Pfizer. Friday night on Aaron Burnett Out Front. Brought to you by Pfizer.
This Week with George Stephanopoulos is brought to you by Pfizer.
Good Morning America is brought to you by Pfizer.
CBS Health Watch sponsored by Pfizer.
Anderson Cooper 360. Brought to you by Pfizer.
ABC News Nightline, brought to you by Pfizer.
So there is no independent media will do a fair report on this subject. All we can do is rely on you and me. So please hit the like button and share this video with more people so we can defeat the censorship. And subscribe to my channel so you can always get the latest update from the safe and effective. Thank you for watching today's video. Have an amazing day and I'll see you soon in my next video. Bye.